Greetings, adventurers. This is DM Kurt, and today I want to talk about the merger of OneBookShelf / Drivethrurpg and Roll20, the virtual tabletop. So, Drivethrurpg is a fairly useful source for either PDFs or print-on-demand books of your favorite RPGs, some of which may be out of print, but they can still find scanned copies and turn them into books and mail them to you, or have scanned copies and send you PDFs. Awesome. Super useful. Roll20 is one of the virtual tabletops for you to play D&D online with your friends or acquaintances from across the country or possibly around the world, depending on your internet speeds. Both of these have competitors. So Drivethrurpg isn't the only source for role-playing games. You can, to some extent, find things on itch.io or Lulu. Some of the authors have their own websites, and some will do publishing through Amazon. But it's pretty much a near monopoly. Roll20 has some competitors, Foundry VTT, and there are a few others I am not fully aware of right offhand. But anyway, what they're trying to push is that their merger will be good for you, that if you have Roll20, you can purchase PDFs through OneBookShelf / Drivethrurpg, and then have them show up and merged in your virtual tabletop. The alternative is just have multiple windows open. Okay, so, or multiple screens if you have a 2-screen setup for your computer, which a lot of people do. I don't, but other people in my family do. Your options are out there, and I always support trying to keep the little guys afloat if they're doing a decent job. So if your favorite RPG author has their own site, shop through there. If they're going through Lulu or itch.io, go through there, because keeping the biggest monopoly from having the full market share is something that's kind of important, because if you have actual competition between brands, they will strive to do a better job than each other, and that competition will either drive prices down or drive quality up. So you want that competition to be there, and right now OneBookShelf and Roll20 are creating a little vertical monopoly where they'll control beginning to end. The other problem is whether or not you like how Drive-Thru runs its business and how Roll20 run their business. The monopolistic issue aside. So, Drive-Thru's had a problem recently where some authors will put their products on, and immediately someone will get their friends together and critic bomb, report bomb that product off of the shelf. They'll say, okay, well, we got a bunch of complaints, and now we have to pull your product off the shelf for 2 weeks and see if it's going to go back on or not. Your initial sales are gone for 2 weeks, and you may or may not be forced to do changes of your product, but it was pulled completely and then reviewed over time. So lastly, there was an example was the Red Room put up a product that was under the mature content section, so it wasn't going to be front page, and it was pulled for content. So the feedback after 2 weeks of having this thing canned was, well, you're going to have to remove a whole bunch of stuff out of your product unless you have our written permission. So this type of objectionable mature content can be in your product if you get written permission. and you know that that written permission is only going to be given to favored people, favored publishers. So Modifius, who puts out a product called Cult, no problem. They can have whatever's going on in there, not an issue, because, oh, well, they got permission. The Red Room with their thing, well, nope, gone, done. They're teaming up with Roll20, who allegedly has refused to work with some people based on their demographics, their race and gender. Now, that's allegedly, and I will put a link down below in the description to a video by the Basic Expert where the affected publishers describe their problem with Roll20, how they were not allowed and to be they were kicked off of a spot. They were prevented from having a sponsorship they were aiming for because Roll20's head guy said, "No, I found somebody else who has a different demographic than you, and it's really smart of me to go with them, not you, because of their demographics." And I'm paraphrasing a little bit, and they're paraphrasing a little bit on their own, but they are stating the facts as they know them. And it's like, wait a minute, if you're that kind of person, there's a word for it, and it's not nice. So are these the kind of people who are putting their little personal spins on who should be allowed to play games, who should be allowed to sponsor games, who should be allowed to publish games? That's not a good thing, and that's another reason why you should not support just the biggest company out there. Go with all the smaller publishers, all the smaller companies that will give you a decent product for your money. I'm not saying just tax yourself to support the little guy. I'm saying look around, compare all of your options. But anyway, I do not think that this merger / cooperative effort between OneBookShelf and Roll20 is a good idea. Let me know if I'm wrong. Anyway, please like and subscribe, of course. DM Kurt, out.